Shake on It by its_Kingston on AO3. Episode 12, Chapter 12. The week passed sluggishly as Luz couldn't get to the approaching date out of her head. Or at least that's what she called it. It wasn't really a date, right? She wasn't sure. Luz entered the library beside the school at 10 a.m. Saturday morning. The pair had agreed to meet earlier so they could have lunch together. Hey, Luz. Hope you remembered your wallet. Amity teased, seeing her friend walk in. She was sitting on one of the library's main tables, paper spread out in front of her. Yeah. Luz said back, walking over to the table. What are you doing? Looking through the practice tests they have here, Amity explained. We're probably doing all of them already. Luz joked. They scanned through the papers, grabbing ones they needed for the work. They put the test down in the hidden room, deciding to talk about today's plans before working. It's 10:45 a.m. We've got a while into lunch, Amity said while checking her phone. Yeah, Luz agreed. She looked at the stacks of papers and then back at Amity. What are the odds I can convince you to ditch the studying so we could do something fun? She asked, already knowing the answer. We did this week's homework already, so if we study into lunch, we could hang out afterwards. Amity said back, to Luz's surprise. Time seemed to fly for Luz as she sat beside Amity reading in silence. Or that's what Luz was supposed to do. She wasn't sure how she got anything done as she stealed glances over at Amity. It's 12:30 p.m. Are you ready for lunch? Luz asked, shutting the book she didn't read. Yeah, Amity said back. She stood up, and Luz followed her as they walked out of the secret room and to the library's exit. Where's the burger shack? Amity asked, realizing she's never been. It's not far. Follow me, Luz said back, holding out her hand. Amity just looked at her, unsure of the gesture. Oh, sorry, Luz said, retracting her hand. She nervously rubbed the back of her neck and began walking. After a few minutes of walking, Luz felt a tug on her hand. Looking down, she saw Amity's hand in hers. Luz felt heat rise to her face, but did her best to calm down before turning to look at her friend. Amity was facing away from her, so Luz was unable to meet her gaze. Instead of prying into the why of the situation, Luz looked in front of her, simply enjoying the peace of the moment. The warmth that rested in her hand, not tightly gripping, but still holding on. A warmth she never wanted to let go of. The silence that seemed to fall not only between them, but around them, like there was no other noise, nothing else in the world to destroy this moment. Their moment. But everything comes to an end. We're here, Luz said, clearing her throat. Yeah. Amity stuttered back, while letting go of Luz's hand. As she did, Luz felt the cold air reach her, like something important was stolen away from her. They walked inside the burger shack, the air conditioning blasting them as they came through the automatic doors. The place wasn't busy. It never seemed to have many customers, but few people still sat scattered across the booths. Luz and Amity approached the counter and ordered their foods, which was basically the same as last time since the burger shack only served burgers. Your total is $34.99. Cash or card? Cash, Luz said, pulling out two 20s. Can I get change? The worker nodded, taking the bills and giving back $5. Seat yourself. Our staff will bring your food once it's ready. They walked away from the register, finding a booth in the back corner away from everyone else. Luz and Amity sat across from each other, sitting in silence until Luz spoke. I forgot to bring it up, but thanks for talking to Basha. You know about the whole bullying thing? Gus and Willow said she hasn't been bothering them. Luz said, warmly smiling. It was the least thing I could do, Amity said back, still looking down at the table as she nervously tapped her fingers on it. Is everything okay with them? You told me not to worry about it, but you were crying. Her voice was hushed and low, like she was comforting a child. Amity looked back up at Luz, meeting her gaze. Tell me what happened? She sounded stern, but caring. Demanding, but patient. We just had a little fight, Luz said, almost feeling the tears well up as she recalled the moment. They don't like me hanging out with you. Luz felt silent, breathing deeply before speaking again, her voice now laced with confidence. But I like hanging out with you, so it doesn't matter. I don't want to lose them or you, so I'll find a way. Amity didn't respond, only looking out the window beside them as she thought. Luz swore Amity began to speak, but was cut off by the waiter bringing their food. Table 7, right? He said, lowering their trays down. The pair nodded, taking their food off the tray before he picked it up, and walked away. This looks good, Amity said, picking up her burger. I bet food tastes better when you don't pay for it, Luz grumbled, causing Amity to laugh. We have a test coming up in history class, Luz said between bites. And? Amity looked skeptically across the table. I want you to buy lunch next time, Luz smugly said. Only if you win, Amity said back, returning her mischievous smile. I bet I could, Luz exclaimed, finishing her burger. Sure you could, Amity teased, grabbing a cookie off her tray. Luz sighed in mock defeat, laughing as she grabbed her own cookie. Where'd you want to go after this? Luz asked, taking a bite of her oatmeal cookie. Didn't the 6th Great Witch of Zora book come out today? Amity asked, slowly eating her cookie. That was today. I thought it was tomorrow. Luz shouted, earning the annoying glare of the Burger Shack employees. Sorry, she whispered. Amity giggled at her reaction. Did you want to go pick up a copy? Amity asked, finishing her cookie. I'll buy it for you, since you bought lunch. She added. Really? You're incredible, you know. Luz smiled warmly from across the table, causing Amity's face to redden a bit before she quickly looked away. Are you done? Amity quickly asked, still avoiding eye contact. Yeah, Luz said back. The pair threw their trash away before leaving the restaurant, as they began walking to the nearest bookstore. Luz couldn't help but think of their earlier walk, where they held hands and the warm feeling gave in to her, and how she wanted that, certainly platonic, feeling back. But life isn't that convenient. They arrived without holding hands. Only a simple conversation or joke was exchanged as they made their way over. This bookstore, called Raine's, wasn't crowded like the other ones would be. It was further away from the others and less popular, too. There's no one here, Luz said, peering into the windows. Is it even open? Amity pulled on the door handle and it swung open, a cool blast of air leaving the building. I guess so, she shrugged. Welcome in. Are you looking for something? A calming voice said, from behind the counter. We're looking for The Great Witch Azura. The new book came out today. Luz said back, approaching the person. They had short hair and glasses framing their face. Their name tag pinned to their shirt read, Mix Whispers. Ah, yes, that arrived today. I haven't pulled them out on the shelves yet, they said, grabbing something from below their desk. Luz took the time to look around, taking in the shelves that towered around her, which seemed endless, stories stacked near on them. Do you own this place? Amity seemed to read Luz's mind. Yes, I do, Whispers responded as they stood up. They placed a book beside the register. Is this what you're looking for? Yeah, Luz exclaimed, her excitement leaking out as she studied the cover. How much? She asked, fumbling to get a wallet out. I said I'd pay, remember? Amity laughed. Luz's excitement was rubbing off of her as she took out her wallet. $10, Whisper said, patiently watching their customers laugh and smile. Here. Amity handed them the money as Luz grabbed the book off the desk. Let's go read it now, Luz said, running out the door with Amity in tow. At the library. We could get snacks, she said as the door shut behind them. Young love. Whispers chuckled from inside the store, picking up a book and going to stock the shelves. Luz was too busy speculating what the book was going to be about. She didn't realize they had already arrived. Oh, that was fast, Luz exclaimed, causing Amity to giggle. That took 20 minutes, she said back to Luz's confusion. No way, she said, walking into the library. She turned into the romance section and opened the hidden door. They walked inside and shut the door behind them, before grabbing the beanbags and sitting down shoulder to shoulder, like last time. Just like last time, except no hot chocolate, Luz joked. We should have grabbed some, Amity said while opening the book cover. Luz hummed in agreement before they began reading. taking their time as they watched the last part of the story unfold. Reading by Amity's side made Luz feel at ease. Her worries and problems melted away just by being around her. That's what we are. Friends. Luz thought to herself. The world seemed sad, almost. It was the first word that came to her mind, but it didn't seem right. The feeling that Luz had couldn't be described by one word, especially by the word friends. Earth to Luz. Amity waved her hand in front of Luz's face. Oh, sorry, I zoned out. Is it my turn to read? Luz asked, laughing nervously. Did you even hear what I read? Amity asked back, giving Luz a concerned look. Is this about Willow and Gus? I know you told me it was fine, but... It's okay, really. I wasn't thinking about them. Luz hastily cut herself off, wanting to get back to the book and lose the feelings that seemed to plague her mind. You sure you're okay? Amity asked again. Positive, Luz declared, giving a thumbs up for emphasis. Okay. Amity laughed. We're on this part. She pointed to a spot on the page. The pair began reading again, enjoying the plot twist and the cheesy lines. They finished the final installation of the series and collected the ending, a bittersweet moment. That was great. I'm sad it's over, though, Luz said, shutting the book to admire the cover art again. The ending was well written. A perfect closing for an amazing series? Amity said back. You sound like a book critic. Luz giggled. Though I wouldn't be surprised if you were one. Amity rolled her eyes before laughing, unable to keep a straight face. It's pretty weird to think how fast we've become friends, Luz said. She stopped after the word friends. Yeah. Amity's response snapped her out of it, reminding Luz to finish her sentence. 3 weeks. I thought you didn't do anything other than study, Luz said before sarcastically adding. Well, I guess I was wrong about that. Amity painfully elfowed Luz. And I thought you couldn't get top 200 on exams, she said back. You really did prove me wrong. Amity smiled, warmly, like a proud parent would to their child. Luz felt her face go warm, and after muttering a quick, thanks, she changed the topic. It's 6:30 p.m., Luz said, checking the time. Mm-hmm. Amity seemed to think for a minute before turning to Luz. You always come up for ideas, so what are we doing now? She asked, only 75% joking. Don't put me on the spot, Luz laughed, unable to decide. You pick this time. It's 6:30 p.m. on a Saturday. We don't have school tomorrow, so... Amity trailed off, quietly saying something under her breath. Could I sleep over at your house? Since our last sleepover was basically you kidnapping me. She joked. Next time I'll leave you in the library all night. Luz said back. But, yeah, that'll be fun. I'll tell my aunt. Luz fished out her phone and stood up, walking towards the other side of the room. Hello? Hi, Eda. Is it okay if I bring a friend over? Sure, the Blight kid can sleep over. Thanks. Wait, how'd you know who... She hung up on me, Luz murmured before turning back to Amity, choosing to ignore her aunt's possible ability to read minds. She said you could come over, Luz said, smiling wildly as she spun around to open the door. Let's go then, Amity said back, following Luz out the door. The pair walked to Eda's house, passing through the quiet forest as they went. Luz always enjoyed walking through the forest. It was the perfect place. It was peaceful and quiet, and sometimes you could see animals wandering about. But walking with Amity, it seemed to make the place much more enchanting. Maybe it was the way the setting sun seemed to perfectly highlight her, or the way she looked towards the sky and smiled. It was a smile only Luz knew, one hidden away from the rest of the world. Amity turned to Luz, the fading sunlight causing her eyes to glow. Take a picture, it'll last longer, Amity joked, a genuine smile across her face. Almost without thinking, Luz grabbed her phone and held it up, snapping a picture before either of them realized what happened. Amity looked confused, but seemed to brush it off as one of Luz's jokes. But as Amity turned away, it might not have been the sun's red glow that painted her face. Let's get to Eda's place. I'm starving, Luz said, speeding up as she could walk in front of Amity. Yeah, Amity agreed. A warm and comfortable atmosphere fell between them, as it often did. It was becoming much clearer and harder to deny now how Luz felt, but she was planning on pushing it away as long as she could, out of fear. Fear of losing her friend. My head hurts. Do-do-do. My head hurts. Do-do-do. My head hurts. And it hurts. And having my glasses on actually really fucking hurt me. Okay, I can't do that. Is it Control P? There it is. Yeah, no, that's not helping. So simply seeing hurts my eye. Like, it hurts. Reading hurts. Reading without my glasses hurts. But my glasses actually put pressure on my nose, which hurts my head. Yeah, so it is a dying battle. Anyways, I'm fine now. Before y'all say to take a break, I can't take a break, bitches. I already took all my days. So I can't take a break, unfortunately, with my laptop breaking and then the trip that came up on me, like, so fast. Like, I was told about it days before we went. Right, which is why I said that I forgot, because I genuinely forgot, because, again, I was told days before it happened. And it wasn't even that I was told that it was gonna happen. It was like, oh, it might happen, but let's be honest, we're probably not gonna go. And I was like, okay, all right. And then, like, 2 days later, it's like, we're going! I'm like, what? And, like, I told myself I was gonna prepare just in case we went anyways, and I kind of forgot to do that, and that's what I forgot. Anyways, as I was saying, this was a really cute chapter. I really liked it. We're kind of seeing how Luz is finally, like, accepting the fact that she kind of has feelings for Amity. What? Disclaimer, this one might get a little dark and self-deprecating towards the end. Not terribly bad, but it's not a fluffy. And it's not the fluff I normally read. I haven't read in it, so it might not end up being bad at all. Depends on how I just write it anyways. It's sensitive to bullying. Discretion is advised. Kingston! I already have a headache. You can't do this to me, Kingston. You can't do that. Kingston, you can't do this to me, Kingston. Please, I'll pray. I'll sacrifice a soul for you. Anyways, I don't have much to say, other than this was a really cute chapter and I really needed it. It was really cute. I really enjoyed reading it. As always, my range... Wait! Kingston, I like your writing. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.